What's up, everybody? This is the Pressplaypodcast. Back at it again. I'm your host, Drew Hettinger. Got two of my boys here with me today, Casey and Cougar.
How you doing?
What's going on?
All right. Today we're going to be discussing sports games. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite memories and what they can do to change sports games up a little bit because they've been feeling kind of the same the past couple of years. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about sports games. And before we get into that, I want to talk about Buzzsprout real quick. So essentially what Buzzsprout is it's a podcasting website that gets you connected to other podcasting networks such as Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, etc. If you follow the link in the show's notes, it lets Buzzsprout know we sent you, gets you a $20 Amazon gift card if you sign up for a paid plan and help support our show. We use Buzzsprout and we love it. Start with some gear that you already have in a quiet space. If you want to upgrade, Buzzsprout has tons of guides to help you find the right equipment at the right price. Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform. You'll get a great-looking podcast website, audio players that you can drop into other websites, detailed analytics to see how people are listening, tools to promote your episodes, and more. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners. The team at Buzzsprout is passionate about helping you succeed. Join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world today. All right, boys.
Amen.
Yes, sir. We're going to dig into our first question right here. And our first question is, well, I guess not really a question, but let's compare our first topic, should I say. Let's compare some older sports games to the current generation of sports games. We can start with MLB since we're all the most familiar with that. Okay. So for starters, I don't know what the first baseball game I played. It was an arcade style baseball game. It was the Bigs 2. And I had watched baseball and stuff on TV, but I'd never really had cared that much about it per se. But when I played the Bigs 2, I had a lot of fun playing it, and it really got me invested in the sport of baseball. It was just a really fun game. It was kind of like Slugfest. I think it was developed after the people that made Slugfest, and it had a lot of those elements, except you weren't just beating the crap out of each other. But it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
So
I've never played the Bigs, but I grew up playing the original MLB The Shows and all that, and it's come a long way. It really has, but I think it's kind of come away from what it started out as, especially with all the online stuff now. I mean, I'm not saying that's bad, but I think it's just definitely changing rapidly.
Sure.
Well, the first baseball game I played, believe it or not, was NCAA 07. That was a bad boy right there. I'm a big LSU guy, so I like going through the dynasty mode and stuff like that. So it's really fun to do. But MLB wise, I think the first one I played was 2K8, and that one was really fun. And then 2K just fell off the map. It just so stagnant. And then MLB came in and just blew them out the water. Blew them out of business, really. So
for sure.
Yeah, true.
I enjoyed the 2K games. I didn't have a PlayStation till after I had the 360 when the next generation came out, the PS4 and Xbox One. I switched over to PlayStation. I'd played with Casey a couple times though, and I enjoyed the show. But for what it was worth, I thought 2K was pretty fun. It was really easy to play, and the pitching was unique. You had to use the analog stick to control your pitching, and I thought that was pretty cool. But the hitting was really simple. You just use the thumbstick, just quick up and down, super easy. The hitting felt really nice. It wasn't perfect by any means. 2K does not make that great of games, so I think we can all attest to that. But I would like to see him return just so MLB The Show has some competition. Because competition is always a good thing. It doesn't matter what it is, because it just makes the other company try to push the limits to get better.
Right.
So.
And if you think about it, though, all the major developers for sports games now, there's EA and 2K and MLB. They all kind of have their own thing. I mean, EA also has hockey, doesn't it?
Yeah, they have hockey.
Yeah,
FIFA.
Okay. Right.
Madden.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, there's nothing else that's really, pushing football like EA is with Madden, but,
No, 2K is actually going to make a Madden game, but it's not going to be simulation like Madden. It's going to be arcade, but still.
Oh, really?
I mean, any competition is good because right now for MLB The Show, the only competition there is what? RBI Baseball, which is like
Horrible.
hot dog water pretty much in video game sense. And
Give it a 2 thumbs down.
Yeah, 2 thumbs down and a foot.
Right.
And then
I'd rather play a perfect inning on my phone than RBI Baseball.
For real. My dad bought it on the Switch the other day, and I was playing it down there. It's not horrible, but just compared to MLB The Show, it doesn't even hold a candle. Like, not even a candle.
Right. The graphics aren't there. The way the game plays isn't there,
No. And I never really played any other types of sports games as much. I got into Madden starting out on the PlayStation 4, and I've played it consistently on a year-by-year basis throughout the life cycle of the PlayStation 4, and I have the current one on the PlayStation 5. But for me, MLB has pretty much gotten better every single year, I feel like, besides, 18? That's the year it kind of fell off. But aside from that, I felt like it's gotten pretty good every year. Like after that,
content wise, yeah, but MLB 18 was just dog water. Yeah. Immortals was such a bad idea.
It was horrible. It was literally. It wouldn't have been as bad if they would have implemented like other cards, because I mean, essentially MLB, you have Immortals in the game this year, like finest cards. But they add other cards that are viable, like the MVPs, like you have Ken Griffey Jr., Mike Trout, Christian Yelich, all those cards. You still can have viable cards in this year's game, and I think the implementation of quirks have really helped the cards out too, be usable.
Yeah, I don't really look into quirks like you do, but MLB 18, I mean, you couldn't. The only 99s were Immortals. Yeah. Like, look at all the 99s this year. There's like 5-6 pages of just 99s on the auction house. So
the game just gives you free 99s too. Like
exactly.
Yeah, we'll get into that later, but yeah, you're absolutely right. It's one of the only, I think, sports games out of all the ones I played. I don't play FIFA. Besides that, I try to dabble in every sports game though, but no, they don't give you anything for free, it feels like. But going off, like we all talked about our first experiences with sports games, so I guess we can kind of move on to how they are now. So where I see at least MLB, and that's probably what we're going to be talking the most about since we're all the most familiar with it. But at least what I see from MLB, kind of like I said earlier, it has just consistently gotten better every year. Besides 18,
right?
Every year they've taken strides and steps to make the game better than the previous year. Now. They do that, and then it seems like they fall short in another aspect. So, take, for instance, this year, they did better on the content, but the gameplay feels like it kind of took a hit because of the content being better. It doesn't matter. They use one thing instead of the other. I just wish that we could, hopefully, in the next MLB, with Sony San Diego Studio, well, I guess it's not Sony, but San Diego Studio, now having the privilege to let the game be released on the Switch and Xbox, hopefully that will make it to be where we have a more complete gameplay experience, because for me, it's felt like the gameplay hasn't really been there since MLB 16. I think that is the pinnacle of online gameplay in MLB.
I can agree with that. I mean, I personally like this new MLB, MLB 20. I liked it a lot, but I think that the reason I liked it so much is because I didn't feel like I had to pay to play, like a lot of the sports games are. So I think that it's definitely better than most sports games in that aspect.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously early in the year, I mean, it's kind of hard to stay competitive if you don't, spend a little bit of money. But I mean, some people don't, and they still do just as good. But I mean, like you said, now, I mean, shoot, I haven't spent money on MLB in months. Mm-mm. Oh, shoot.
What, somebody calling you? Oh, it's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of like what Cougar was saying, you have in the other sports games, in the other sports genres, football, hockey. Well, hockey's not too bad, but mainly Madden and NBA. You hardly get anything for free. You get nothing. You get jack squat. You might get a pink diamond here or there super late in the year. And even if you get it, the card doesn't hold a candle to the cards that the people that spend money have. At least with MLB, when you're getting the free cards, they're cards that everyone uses. I spent money at the very beginning of the year. I spent a couple $100. I got all the collections done, all that. And I haven't spent money really, I think, since April or May. Maybe that's a lie. Maybe I spent money in June. It was May or June to finish the collection, and then I just kind of got Mike Trout because for whatever reason my friends were nice enough to give me a little bit of money so I could get it. But the point is you really, as long as you take your time with MLB, you don't have to spend that much money. Whereas other sports games, you can't get anything unless you spend the money or play a sacrilegious amount of time.
Right.
Yeah, that's the big problem with Madden. Like I personally just don't have enough time to go through all the solos and all that stuff just to have a subpar team, you know. Like now you can get all kinds of stuff but still not have the best team in the game unless you're a market whiz or you're doing some extracurricular like selling on the side illegal stuff that gets you banned, you know.
Right.
So I mean, it is what it is. So I end up spending money on that game, but I enjoy it for the most part. I'm not playing right now because it sucks and my team's not where I want it to be, but that's still fun. I don't know.
It's fun from time to time, but I just feel like this is even with MLB included. They just don't try to add new game modes in to like make it new and fresh. It's just the same thing with a different look or a different like theme on it. It's always going to be at least, and maybe from console generation to console generation will change. But aside from that, it feels like you're playing the same game every year with different cards. And this should probably be a question we take later, but I'm going to go ahead and cover it now. I personally think sports games, when they're on the life cycle of like, say, like the new MLB coming out on the PlayStation 5, maybe they can have like two, but I feel like they should just be one game and they just update it throughout the entire course of the game. Maybe, I don't know what they'd have to do. Maybe add, like, maybe you can have like different years, like built in the game. So you can just say you want to play this year's version or something like that. There has to be some kind of way they can do that. Or they make the game free is what I'd really like to see. All sports games go to free to play, at least for the Ultimate Team, Diamond Dynasty, that type part of the game. Because if you're having to spend the amount of money you have to spend, I just feel like it should be free. Because the first thing you do when you get on a sports game, first thing I do if I play Madden or MLB, I drop 50 to 60 to $100 immediately, every single time on day one. That's the first thing I do.
Head start.
Just to get the head start, and that's what I'm going to end up doing on the next MLB. I'll probably buy the $100 edition of the game and spend $100. That's usually what I do, $50 or $100 the first day, and buy the most expensive edition. And then I don't have to spend money for a while unless I really want to. But I try to like cap it out at that for at least for MLB. But the other games, like we've been saying, you just can't. You can't compete. MLB, at least you can still be competitive if you do that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way. Like, I spend probably worse than you. I probably spend $100, $200 the first day. I mean, y'all pick on me all the time about that, but hey, I mean,
we're just throwing shade at you. You got the money. You got the money.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I ain't got the time to do, grind CPU and stuff, but it is what it is. I still have fun.
Oh yeah, we know you do.
But like you said with other game modes, like how it's the kind of same stuff every year. I mean, MLB, I mean, they had Battle Royale for how many years now?
It's been since 16? So 4 years going on 5.
So is that the only game mode besides maybe events that they have, like, online wise?
Online?
No, online wise.
There's head-to-head, which just ranked seasons or unranked, but nobody plays unranked, and that doesn't even count as a different thing. Then there's events and Battle Royale, and yeah, that's it. That's the only competitive modes.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see the kind of like a co-op kind of deal forward.
Like a
and
2K deal. Like you can create your own player and go and play with some buddies.
Right.
I've been calling for that for years.
Right.
But I mean, like you said about, I mean, are they really going to come out with like an MLB 34? Like they need to come out with like just an MLB game and just update it every year, you know?
Yeah,
So,
just go free to play.
I agree with that.
Go free to play because people are spending buku bucks. At least I am. Like, I mean, I've spent, God, when I was 15, 14 playing MLB, every dollar I got for birthday, Christmas, what you just any penny I got was going towards Diamond Dynasty. I mean, that was just the way it was. And then when I got my first job, it'd be like $20 or more from each paycheck would go into it. And it's just, I thank God I finally stopped that. But I've also gotten good enough at the game to where I don't have to do that. If I want to play the game and get some cards just by playing, I can do that, which is another thing the MLB does. I mean, Madden has house rules, I guess, which isn't too bad. And MLB has events. And then there's the weekend league and ranked seasons and all that. But that's a given. Every game has to have that. But I would like to see, like, no matter what sports game, they need to come out with the event should be more frequent. I think it should be a part of the game, like where there's a new one like every week. So that way there's at least, if you're not going to make a new game mode, you can keep it like fresh. And have it not be to where you have to get 50 or 100 wins. Have it be like you have to get 10 or 20, maybe 30 max wins, and then you get the card. Not any more than that. That is, I mean, if you want to give them rewards where people can keep playing, that's fine. But don't just keep having these cards you have to get 100 or 50 wins for. I mean, I guess people would have the time to do that because they make the time limit so long. But personally, I have not been a fan of that. And that's kind of why I don't play events, because I don't want to sit there all day and play against sweats to win like 50 games. It's just not fun to me.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. 50, 60 wins just for one card.
But you're probably not even going to use anyways. You know?
That's going to be viable for how long?
Exactly.
I'd just take the stubs every time I'd get a card. I wouldn't even use them. Like I got I bought the Bellinger. I don't even think I did any events this year. Maybe like one. I
might have done one.
I think I got so burnt out on them from the past couple of years of doing it that I just have stopped.
Right. I wish I would have used that Bellinger before I sold him. He looks really glitchy, and now he's stupid expensive.
He has so good stats, but I feel like if at least I have the prestige one, so I don't think it's like obviously fielding and stuff. There's going to be a little difference, but the one that I got, it has diamond fielding. Like still, it still has about
vision. The vision is
bro. Do you know that Cody Bellinger aside from the I almost said Gary Soto, Gary Sanchez is probably that's probably my go-to card this year. Like not all the way through the game, like up to like the midpoint of the game. That Cody Bellinger, that 97, man, that was the card to be reckoned with. I know y'all didn't like when I used him, especially Cougar.
Well, no, the one card I do not like facing, like the past month I've been playing, is that bitch ass Juan Soto. I cannot stand that dude, man. Every time I throw a ball, he does a little dancey dance. It just makes me want to give him a knuckle sandwich. I can't stand that guy.
Yeah, and then you throw it in the zone.
I hate him.
Out of here.
Yeah, then you
it's 700 feet.
Yeah.
But I would get him for my team, but he's too bad in the outfield, and he's not fast.
So?
He's not that bad.
I think he's good in left field. In left field, he's not bad. If there's people playing Babe Ruth, Juan Soto's an improvement over that.
I've seen Juan Soto look like a silly person out there.
Well, I don't play as much as you do.
Balls.
I don't play as much as you do.
Yes, you do.
No, not online. Like, I mean, I play against buddies. Like at the beginning of the year, I will, but I don't play like as nearly as much as you do, like ranked and stuff. So you've probably seen more of him. But anytime I've used him, he's been fine. He's been absolutely okay in the outfield. I think I've even robbed a home run with him. I mean, he's not bad.
You can rob a home run with anybody, though.
I wouldn't say that.
It's the reaction and the speed in the outfield, and if you don't have either
left
of
field,
those,
you don't need that. All right. Well, I guess we're just gonna have a stalemate right there. Okay. Yeah. So we talked about like the newer generation now. Now let's go back to like the older day. Well, I guess it's associated with the older days, but let's talk about like the arcade sports games and how there could be a good market for it in like today's like world, because the only arcade-ish like sports games that I have seen, there's 2K Playgrounds, and then there's I think there's maybe another one that I'm missing, but Playgrounds is the only one. Yeah, NBA Jam, but that doesn't come out like regularly, does it?
It's not new, no.
No, I haven't heard about that for a while, but the only one that has released in the past couple of years has been Playgrounds, and I didn't even like that. I mean, it didn't even seem like an arcade game. It just seemed like a game where you just have basketball players on. It's just kind of like a rip-off game. I mean, it didn't even feel like a true arcade like style experience, but I think, there could be a big market for that, because some people don't like to take sports games as seriously as we do. That's like our like stuff, we play that. Like I'll play everything. These boys, they're mainly Call of Duty and sports games. That's what they love, and I love sports games too. MLB more so than any of the others, but yeah, I think just by the amount of casual gamers there are, I think arcade games could do really good. Let's say bring back like the Bigs or Slugfest. It's really easy to learn. Anybody can play. You could play a game with your dad. I mean, anybody can do it. And it was well, I'm just throwing an example out there. I mean, I don't know how old Obadiah would be doing over there, but for George.
Obadiah would shut it down before Jeremy would.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. We gotta do a matchup. We gotta see old George and Obadiah and Jeremy get at it, and then that'll be the show.
Oh man.
Man, I'd put up a mercy roll and he'd ground me.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know. There isn't really any arcade sports games anymore, kind of like I said. So, like, I just think there could be a decent market for it because they're fun. They don't take the whole, like, hour and a half it usually takes to play an MLB game, or what it feels like it takes anyways.
Yeah, stressful as heck.
Yeah, you don't have to stress as much when you're playing those games because you're just playing for fun. MLB, you play for fun, but I know for all of us, we take it so serious because we like the game so much. So we're not, even when we're playing against each other, we take the headset off.
When y'all play against each other,
we
y'all
put
don't play
in,
me.
Well, we do occasionally, and it's never a good decision because our ass cheeks are always red after. So, but yeah. Yeah.
I think that. Okay. What's up?
Oh, I was just gonna say, you were gonna add on to that, but you did. So.
Oh yeah. So what I was gonna say is that if they, I don't know about you guys, but if they release like another NFL Blitz or another Slugfest or that type of game, I would play the shit out of it. I mean, I would have a blast just because it's not constant sweat like it is on MLB or Madden or 2K. Like it'll just be good fun, and I think that they definitely should tap into that because I feel like there's a lot of money to be made there for developers. But I don't know. I think that it would be very beneficial to have a game like that come back out just because everything now is just so try hard. It's almost impossible, especially for people that have never played games like that. Some like all these Xbox players that are going to be playing on MLB The Show now are going to be like, what the hell is going on? Like we're going to kick their ass.
Hopefully they got cross-platform.
Right.
Oh, I'm going to give me an Xbox just for that.
I might also, I might also just to have fun, just to
like Christmas
people.
Noobs.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome.
I don't know. Talking about those kind of games coming back out, I mean, they were. Oh yeah. I'd enjoy that high fastballs the whole time. Anyway, like
shout out to
arcade, like the bigs and stuff, like those were super fun. Like when I was younger and stuff. But as soon as I found out, the competitive playing somebody online, and I mean, I'm competitive as hell. I don't like to lose. And so whenever I found out I could play people online, I don't even like playing like story mode games. So, and I know there's a lot of people like that, as many people play online as I do. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell, who would buy those kind of games. And like you said, I mean, Xbox players don't even have a baseball game right now, besides RBI, I guess.
I wouldn't even call that.
I wouldn't even consider that a baseball game.
No.
But I don't know.
Right.
No, that it's definitely going to be a sight to behold. If they have cross-platform, that is. But I'll probably get an Xbox just to play those guys.
Dude.
All right, we kind of hit on this earlier to an extent, but we're going to re-go over it. Question for you guys. Is it worth spending money on building a great team, or is it worth the grind? I think they both kind of go hand in hand. We got people like me and Casey that, I don't know, we're more prone, I guess, to like grinding out the game. I mean, I'll spend money. I'm not going to say I won't, but I've been trying to get it to where it's just I grind more than I spend. Because, I mean, I spend money on the games, but I just don't like seeing how, like, every year I'm spending hundreds of dollars on, like, the same thing. And it's really fun to spend money. You don't realize how much you spend till after you spend it. But, if I hadn't been spending the amount of money I've been spending on games, I could have a way nicer vehicle. I could have a lot of things, way more money in my bank account. But I think it's just kind of like what your life is like. So like Cougar doesn't have a lot of time because he's either working his ass off or he's at the gym getting those gains. He doesn't have like a lot of time to play like we do. Because basically all I do, I'll do like some schoolwork and I'll play games and I'll go to work. I mean, I don't have and you obviously work more hours. You're full time. Casey's kind of full time, but I don't know where he's at right now exactly, but he'll be.
He's been on quarantine for the past 2 months.
Yeah.
No, it's been a month, but I mean, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, plus 2.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just kind of like your situation. Like, so like for me, I think the grind's more worth it, but for people like Cougar, I don't want to speak for him, but I would think spending money is much more worth it to him because he'd rather be playing instead of just working to get as good as our teams are.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, pretty much what you said. I mean, I don't really have the time to do it. And when I do, like, I mean, I'm already so far behind. I just want to have it now, to keep up with y'all. So I don't like being behind.
Right.
So that's how I look at it. And I mean, if you don't have the money to do it either, I don't recommend it because it does get expensive.
Yes.
Like I shouldn't spend near as much as I do, but I do it because, I enjoy it. But it is what it is.
I think we all kind of share the same opinion about that. I mean, my thing about spending money though is like we were talking about earlier, like how some games are pay to play, like 2K, for instance, like horrible. Like I'm pretty sure, isn't there a max on what your guys overall can be unless you spend money?
Unless you have to do both in that game. You have to spend money and play freaking tail off. It is ridiculous because they'll cap it out at like what? I don't play this year's part because they just copy and paste every year. 85, I think. 85, and then you have to play hours upon hours, and then you get to 88, and then you play another freaking 20 hours, and then it goes up to 90. And it just keeps doing that. I can't stand that. That is just either have it one way or have it the other. Don't have it both. I mean, that is so crappy. They had that's kind of like what we were saying, like how every game needs competition. I really enjoyed NBA Live. I know it isn't as good as 2K, but I honestly preferred the shot meter in that game better. And I liked how you could you could make your own guy. It was called the One or something like that. You can get your guy up to 99 overall just by playing. And when you start your guy out, you can still use your guy. It's not like in 2K where you can't do anything until you spend money. You can actually start out and have like a 73 ball or something, or whatever your build is. You can start out with like an 80 dunk or something in NBA Live, which I really enjoyed. And I made like 2 or 3 characters, 2 different builds, and got 2 or 3 and got them to 99. Like I really enjoyed NBA Live, and that's just like I've been saying. I mean, competition only makes the predecessors better. I mean, so you can't ever go wrong with competition in fast food, in life, in business, everything.
Fast food.
Oh, it's just
Good
an
old
example.
Cheeseburger.
Yeah, Wendy's and Hardee's going at it.
Right.
But I never played NBA Live, so I don't know. I played a good bit of 2K. I haven't played this one, but past couple of years, and I don't I don't really mess with the park anymore because I just sweat my butt off the whole time and I end up losing. So I just end up spending a couple bucks on my team and having a little bit of fun. So that's all I do.
Beating up against people that don't play the game that much, like Devin. And I mean, you even beat Tevis. It doesn't matter how much he plays.
Oh, dude, Tevis plays a lot, and we still clap his cheeks.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, in NBA, he's not near as bad.
Poor little Tevis. No, poor little Tevis. It hurts to say it, but I mean, I wish he was here.
I wish he was here too.
We love you, Tevis, sometimes.
Just don't throw him a high fastball; he might cry.
He won't hit it, that's for sure. Are microtransactions forgivable in sports games now? It just depends on if you can get cards other ways, like by grinding or just by getting them. Like I said, I kind of want the game. I think they'd be much more forgivable if the sports games went free to play. I think they'd be completely forgivable then. But right now, if you're spending $60 just to get the game, no, it's not forgivable what they're doing. They're just sucking people dry. Well, that's probably pretty bad. They're sucking people's wallets dry. How about that?
They've been sucking me dry for years now.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and so you have been against us playing us online. But yeah, I think it just depends. I think MLB is a lot more forgivable because you can get like a 99 overall team just for playing the game. Whereas, we've been harping on this the whole time, but other games just, you don't have that option to get those cards, like maybe one or two, but that's it. And even if you see any YouTubers, they're not using any of the free cards you get. They just have cards that they open from a pack or do a set and they get those. They don't use any of those free cards. So
exactly how it is.
At least in NBA and Madden, that is. Because in MLB, you can get Babe Ruth, you can get Tatis, Tom Seaver, Bob Gibson, Joe Morgan, Joey Votto. That's just like 5 or 6 cards off the top of my head that are like in-game cards you can get just by playing the game.
Yeah, and they had all those Tops Now Moments cards too that were, like 95 and above, and all those cards are pretty solid. I mean,
Travis d'Arnaud.
Postseason program.
Yeah, postseason program where you get 99 Corey Seager, even though, I mean, he's on my bench, but he's pretty good. Rosarena, I mean,
that Stanton's got crazy power.
They even have those in MLB. They have the level up like rewards paths too, and like NBA kind of has that, but it's so dumb how they have it set up. I wouldn't even call it a true one because you still have to spend money basically to do it. MLB, you just play the game and it rewards you for it. That's why I think it's so much further ahead of the other ones. You get free coins, which are called stubs in that game. You get free cards that you can actually use. You don't have to play near as much to get like cards, like depending on the event. Ranked seasons, you have to bust your balls on that, I will say, which I've never gotten the World Series, but I have went 12-0. So I know how hard that is.
On BR.
And you have to get some luck, that's for sure. Yeah, you have to get some luck, but you also have to whip some ass too. So.
No, the one thing I say with the XP rewards, it's happened the past 2 years, which I think they need to fix. Even though it's really cool to have at the time, if you get it, it's having an in-game pitcher like day one.
Yeah,
like Kluber this year and Kershaw last year. Yeah. That is ridiculous. Like,
yeah, I would.
I get into a ranked seasons game and you face Corey Kluber every time and you can't hit nothing.
Yeah.
No, there's definitely some tweaking that needs to be made. No, they should not have pitchers. It should just all be position players, because if you're going against Kershaw or Kluber, like at the beginning of the year when your best hitter's a 89 overall, it's just not going to work. It's not.
50 vision or 60 vision and their PCI is,
a macaroni noodle.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
Pretty much.
Small. Petite.
Yes. That's a nice way of putting it. Yeah.
What we got next?
Okay, so next we have so honestly, this is the final one we got, unless we want to add some stuff onto it. Do we see mainly Madden and 2K getting better after recent backlash? MLB we've kind of already harped on, so we'll just they've done a really good job. We could all agree. Obviously, there's ways for them to improve. We could honestly go into that. Like, what could MLB improve on, just so this would last longer? We'll do that. MLB, I think, to become better, first and foremost, they need to create a stadium mode so you're not playing in the same damn stadium every time, year after year. Because right now it's gotten to where people are going to play in some hobo field, like some minor league stadium, like Balloon Animal Park or something. And, I mean, nobody wants to play in those fields. I want to play in like an actual stadium, or I want to play in like a stadium where I can create, and maybe like there'd obviously be restrictions on the what's the word? Like the I can't think of the right word, like the dimensions, that's what it is, of the fields and stuff like that. And obviously you probably wouldn't be able to change like the distance of like the walls. There'd be some kind of restrictions, but just have it like a different aesthetic so you're not looking at the same backdrop every time. That would be that'd be pretty cool. Because I remember I don't remember which stadium it's one, but it's the one it's kind of like the GTA backdrop. It has like the Ferris wheel and it has the beach. That one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But just if you could do stuff like that, like I know it'd kind of be out there, but like maybe have like a desert, like a desert, or like a huge like Arctic mountain, or like just something to make it to where it's different.
That'd be beautiful.
Yeah,
majestic.
An Arctic backdrop would be very majestic. But yeah, I mean, something I thought was really cool in MLB 18 until I found out you couldn't do it. Like all that bobblehead shit, like all the uniforms that you could collect, dude. All those uniforms were so swag, dude. If you could put those like as your team, that'd be so awesome. Because I don't like creating uniforms. That stuff.
I mean, it's nice to have the option, but give me one of these jerseys. Give me this. Would I put it up?
Oh, let's see it.
Give me the option to wear one of these bad boys out on the field.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Give me an option like that to where I can wear an actual MLB jersey and not have to use the same damn created uniforms every day and spend an hour on day one making my uniforms.
Right.
Like I have to create my early 2000s Angel uniforms with the powder blue and the navy. Dude, those are so swag. And then like the 90s with the Rays uniforms when they're the Devil Rays.
Yes, that's what I got.
Amazing. Like it's stupid how you couldn't even use those, and they were like useless.
And they're in the game.
Like
they're in the game is the thing.
Useless, waste of money.
For sure, yeah. That's why I was saying MLB 18 took a step back earlier, because they really did in so many areas. But thankfully, they've listened to their consumer base, unlike a lot of corporations such as EA and 2K. And they're actually improving. And that's another thing that's really cool. MLB has their content creators actually involved in their game. Like 2K, they say they are, but they're not. They don't have any say. The people at MLB actually have say, and they can. They're like the voice of the people. They're kind of like our own like little government. Like we can push through what we want to them, and they'll push it through to MLB the show, which is pretty cool.
That'd be kind of cool if they made little Diamond Dynasty cards of those guys that they face scan into the game.
That would be cool. I mean, they have their
own,
like.
I know they're like a franchise and stuff. Yeah, that's what I meant by that.
No, it'd be cool for sure. Like as long as they wouldn't be. I mean, even if they put them in at like the end of the year, I think that'd be cool. I don't care. Put Fuzzy in there.
With Madden, they actually do have some of their. Well, it's competitive players, but I guess you can call them content creators too, as like the MCS packs. Like you can have them as coaches on the field,
like Joke and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I don't know about 2K, though.
Also, let us change our damn coach. I'm sick of the 80s mullet man being my coach every year.
That guy's a bastard. I hate him.
Yeah, Billy Ray Cyrus is my coach every year. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, I know. Face scan some of the real umpires into the league so I can freaking beat the crap out of Angel Hernandez behind the plate.
Angel.
Yeah.
Or, what's that really fat guy?
Joe Wells.
Joe West. Yes.
or that mustache guy that destroyed that guy's perfect game. I just want to give him a karate chop to the throat.
Yeah, I don't remember what his name is, but yeah.
One thing
I forgot his name.
One thing I wish the MLB would do is add, like a trading system
Yes.
between other players. You know, like if I have a card or like a bunch of a card and one of my buddies is just starting out, I should be able to just give him a card. You know, like I think that would be awesome, honestly. You know, because Madden has that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And the way they do it is actually, I guess,
Decent.
the best way to do it, because if you trade it to somebody, it's not an auctionable or tradable. So that would be the best way to do it, because somebody can really abuse that. If,
Hayden Parker.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Just a random name that I thought of.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. They should definitely add that in the show, because, I mean, like, somebody coming brand new that's one of our friends that has no idea what the heck is going on, send them like a card that you don't even use, you know, that's just sitting in our binder.
Right.
So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, they should have that, because baseball is the first sport that actually started making like the trading cards and all that. So you'd think it would be in there, but for whatever reason, it just isn't. And that's just a little nitpicky thing, but it should be in there. I mean, they can throw the same system that Madden has, like where you can't sell the card like once it's been traded and all that, but you can trade it back to the person or trade it to somebody else, whatever. But they should definitely have something like that.
Amen.
Another thing,
I agree.
And another thing about this year's MLB that I didn't like is, like, if you lock a player in like to some set, you can't feed them to the team affinity thing. I didn't understand why that was a thing at all. I was like, what is that? You know, like,
that
why?
Pissed me off too.
Like, if I already have the card, I should be able to just feed it to that, and then I don't have the card anymore. You know, I might, you know, I feel like it would just be a lot easier that way. I don't know.
They also need to make
the same way.
They need to make the quick selling system better too, like where you can like just quick sell all like of your equipment or whatever. Like that way you could just get hundreds of stubs so fast, but it makes it to where I don't even want to do it half the time because it takes so damn long. Like if you go to your take for instance the free agents or your bats or your stadiums, you could get a couple grand easy if you just could quick sell all at the same time. But for whatever reason, you can't do that, and it should be implemented the next one because it's so frustrating. Just it sounds like we're bitching or I'm bitching, but you don't unless you're doing it, you don't realize how long it really takes, and you just get you don't want to do it.
Right. It's almost not even worth it at that point.
No. Usually this ends at 45 minutes, but I haven't gotten any indication that it's going to end. So.
Where we at right now?
We're at 43 minutes, so if it ends, I guess we can just pick back up. But I haven't got a notification, so I guess we'll just keep on going. Okay. Anything else you guys would add to MLB?
I mean, I think we pretty much hit on everything that I would change, really.
Go ahead, Cougar.
Road to the show. That needs to be co-op for sure. They need to find some kind of way to do Road to the Show like they do 2K.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, at least make it harder, you know, to upgrade your guy, because it's hella easy to upgrade your guy in Road to the Show. And it's like a really casual, you know, game mode to play if you want to take a break from Diamond Dynasty or something like that. But I think they really need to implement like a, I don't know, kind of like a Sandlot mode or something like that, you know?
For sure.
Even if like you could have like say us three play, you know, my guy plays third, Drew's guy pitches, Cougar's guy plays second, you know, like, and then just auto fill with the rest or whatever, you know, something like that, you know.
For sure. I've been asking for that for years. Even if you can't do it like in is it gonna end? No, it hasn't ended. Even if you can't do it in Road to the Show, which you should be able to. Don't know why you wouldn't be able to. They should have it to where you can use already like MLB superstars and do like a superstar team up, something like that.
Yeah, something.
Mode. Because I don't know. I need to take breaks from MLB from time to time because I grind it pretty hard and it just gets kind of boring after a little bit. Like I'll play it the next day or something, but I just need I still want to play baseball with my friends, but I don't want to just play competitively every single time. So, like some people.
All right, Christopher Hanley.
Yeah, he's never played a competitive game in his life except against me with the all-common team.
Oh,
and I still
which
won.
did not end well.
Which did not end well for
take me
him.
back.
Yeah.
Who was it that hit that home run? Jeff
Will
Mathis?
Middlebrooks. Will
Oh,
Middlebrooks.
Will Middlebrooks. That's right.
Walk-off home
the
run,
goat.
all-common team against Christopher Hanley's Diamond Dynasty squad that had diamonds on it.
God bless America.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could do that to Tevis.
I would
Tevis
be
is probably a little
afraid.
bit better than that.
Yeah, I would say he's probably better than that. I would hope so.
Tevis would vigorously rearrange his room if he lost to Drew with an all-common team.
There wouldn't be a room if Tevis lost.
Yeah, he would throw up the sandwich he just ate.
Oh, he'd take his car and just do a burnout in his room.
He'd be distraught.
For sure.
No.
What was I going to say? Yeah, I was going to, one more thing I would add to MLB. I like the system they have in place, like the bronze, gold, diamond. I wish there'd be another tier. I think it's time.
Prestige.
That I don't count that because it's only 99s. Like it's from 99. I don't count that. That's poo-poo Chad. There needs to be like another system in place, like pink diamond or like maybe like just something different, emerald, whatever it may be, amethyst. They can think of some freaking card, some gem.
Well, I think one way they could do that is kind of how they did it this year, which they didn't do too much of. It was just kind of like in the XP path, like the Evo players. I think that could definitely be a different gem.
That could be a big thing that they just forgot about at the very beginning.
They did 4 players. Was it 4 or 5 players? That's all they did the whole year, and they didn't even go up again.
Pudge, Eddie Matthews, Carlos Gonzalez, and Eckersley.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they all got better cards, but they should have went towards that Evo path.
Oh, for sure. If you're gonna have a card, you need to have it be where you can evolve them all the way. That's not even funny that they did that. I thought you were going to be able to get their best. Yeah, for sure. I thought you were going to be able to get their best versions. That's why I was excited. That's why I picked Cargo. If I'd known, I mean, I would have picked him anyways, but I don't know. I feel like if you were choosing them, like, and you could upgrade them all the way, you would make, like, so say maybe there isn't a card that's as good, you would take it knowing that later on you would get a better card or something like that.
For sure. That's pretty much why I picked Cargo too.
And then his card. Glitchy. His card's good, but I haven't used his really good card. I have it, but I haven't used it.
The 96?
Yeah.
I give it 8.2 out of 10.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good for a 96.
Yeah, it is.
It's just because of his swing.
Oh, one of the best
swings. Glitchy.
I remember Casey and I used to play Home Run Derby because he had the PlayStation 3 and I had the PlayStation 4, and that's the only way you could play cross-platform is Home Run Derby. And I would pick Cargo every time, and he looked like Kim Jong-un when they did a little close-up.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh.
Yeah. For whatever reason. Yeah.
That's awesome.
God bless.
Oh, my God.
The amount of home runs I hit with that man. Oh, my Lord.
So what's the first MLB you had?
The show?
Yeah, Drew.
First show that I had was it 14 with Miggy on the cover?
Yeah, that's the first one that was on PS4.
That's the first one I had. First one I played was 11 at Casey's, I believe.
Because they switched the Diamond Dynasty style from 14 and 15. That's when they switched, I believe. That's when it went from like billion stubs to like, what, million stubs?
Something
would
like
be
that.
A lot. I mean, I don't know what it was because I didn't play 14 too much. I got heavy into Diamond Dynasty at 15.
Well, same here.
Yeah, that's when
I didn't like it in 14, and I saw it in 15. I was like, no, this is the same as last year. So I didn't play it for months upon months because I thought it was the same thing. And then I clicked on it one day because I was bored, and I was like, oh my God, it was like this the whole time, and I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I actually think I saw it like I was watching YouTube and just looking up MLB videos, and I saw it on YouTube. I was like, what? This is in the game that I'm playing now? I was like, no way.
Get out of here.
Yeah, pretty much. And ever since then, I've been hooked to Diamond Dynasty. I really loved 15 because I would just I would wait for cards to go up and down, and I would post one really fast. I think people were selling stubs to each other, and I'd put a card in for like 800,000 stubs, and it would sell, and I had over millions of stubs, and I had all the collections done. Oh, it was glorious. I was probably worse than Tevis though back then. I didn't get good at MLB until 19, like the one before last. I wouldn't call myself good.
well, shoot, 16 was probably my favorite besides the past. Well, 17 was good too, but 16 just had
16.
so many good players that retired that year.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
A-Rod, Teixeira, Prince Fielder, Grady Sizemore, just the list goes on. It was just Beltron was in 17.
Well,
But
that was
still.
his best card, though.
Well, yeah,
In
Joe Mauer
16,
too.
yeah.
Oh, that Joe Mauer card.
Joe Mauer power, yes. Beltray.
Beltray had a good card too, yeah.
Yeah.
Bautista, that was his last really good card.
Bautista?
He had a signature last year, but that was that card that year was phenomenal.
It's like a 94 or something like that.
Well, that's when they first implemented Conquest, and that's how you got all those cards, right?
Yeah, Conquest. I kind of wish they had Conquest still like that because I loved playing it back then.
Yeah, you'd open stuff up as a treasure chest.
Yeah, speaking of which, they need to make Conquest better. I'm sick of all the new maps that just give out hardly anything. They need to make that first Conquest they probably won't ever make it like they did for the 16, but that was the best. They need to go back to that. But if they're not going to do that, they need to either have the last reward, what you get for completing it all, be an Evo card of your choice, or just a good card that you can use. Because I didn't use the Edgar Martinez. I didn't use it was Pee Wee Reese this year or something like that. It was somebody horrible. They had some horrible card.
It was Willie Mays.
And it was horrible. He didn't even
have
the beginning
80 of the
power.
year.
Didn't even have 80 power versus righties.
Yeah, the one at the beginning of the year was Willie Mays, I think.
Yeah, Willie Mays, 87 overall, which I'm not even going to say it, but he played horrible.
Yeah, not
I didn't even put that card on my team. That's how bad he was.
Wasn't very cash money.
No, it was dollar store change.
I mean, but also it's the beginning of the year and people just want diamonds on their team. So I can understand why people grind for him. But people that understand the game like us know that he's just a poo water card. So,
well, I still got him, but I don't know. I wish they would actually reward, because that takes a lot of time. Conquest does the first map, the USA map. That takes a good amount of time. So I feel like you should actually be rewarded for it, not just a 10-pack bundle, and some card that has hardly any good stats. I think he maybe had 80 speed or something. That was probably the highlight of that card.
He only had 80 speed?
It was either high 80s or low 90s.
It had to have been at least 90 on a Willie Mays card, because it had to have been his rookie year, I think.
I don't remember, but I just know it wasn't even usable on my team at that point in the year, which that should say something.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Conquest definitely needs to get more interesting.
Yeah, there's so many different things they could do to that game, really, to just improve it, just piece by piece. But I think we've probably covered the bulk of it. So I guess if you guys want to go into our final topic, we can. So as I was saying earlier, do we see Madden and 2K games getting better after the recent backlash with their fans? I don't really know. I don't see them getting better. I feel like the backlash has been there for so many years that if it was going to get better, it would have already gotten better. I've made a promise to myself that I will not be buying the next Madden or the next 2K. Unless I see some serious improvements, and I'm going to stick by that. And unless they're $5 or $10 or something, and I just want to play it, it doesn't matter how good it looks, unless everybody has the same opinion. The game is way better than it has been. I will not be buying those games next year. MLB and probably NHL, which that game isn't even that good. I just like making a goalie and playing creative player with them. But those are really the only two sports games I will even consider buying next year without major improvements to those two. And I love Madden, I really do. And I think 2K is probably the most fun sports game to play with friends, because basketball is just a really cooperative sport. You need other people there to play. And I don't know, the addition of the yard in Madden was pretty fun, and I like Superstar KO, but I don't see these franchises getting better. I think they're owned by too greedy of people to really get changed. the way people want them to get changed. But that's just my opinion.
I feel like that's fair. It's a fair assessment.
I mean, it's just been down. It's never gone up. It's just like since 16, each sports game aside from MLB just down.
Right. And I mean, I probably started playing Madden, like, not seriously, but like enough to care, I guess, about winning and stuff, like the Ultimate Team style. Like 18 and then 19, I played a lot. And then through 19 up, I played a good bit. But nothing's really changed. Like, gameplay styles changed a little bit every year, but like people are still going to complain about the game no matter what, and they're still going to buy it. So I think it's just going to be the same over and over and over again. And I'm going to end up buying it every year just because I get bored and I end up wanting to play it because everybody else is playing it. But that's just how it is. But 2K, I could care less about 2K because I'm not a big 2K guy. But it's the same with that too. They do the same stuff every year, and people are still going to buy the game. As much shit they talk about it, they're still going to buy it. So that's how I feel.
I mean, I feel like, you know, where they're at now, I mean, I feel like there's definitely a bunch of room to grow, but I don't foresee them actually listening to any of the people that actually play the game. I mean, if they do, great, but I gave up on Madden a long time ago because, first of all, y'all are way better than me. So, like, there's just no point because, you know, like, it's fun to play with your friends or against your friends, but I can't compete with you or against you. So that's why I gave up. And the whole, like, you know, it really just comes down to, like, everything with, like, spending money and all that for me. Like, I spend money on MLB and sometimes, you know, Call of Duty and Fortnite, you know, but I will not spend money on Madden or 2K because I'm horrible at both of them.
Big Fortnite guy.
You're not going to spend money because you're horrible?
Yeah, pretty much.
I wish some people would take that advice.
Any better. Are we throwing shots at somebody right now?
No. Never. Yes.
Where's Davis when you need him?
Probably working.
Don't say where.
I won't. I won't say where, but I'll say when right now.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right. Anything else? That's all the questions I got. Anything else you boys want to touch on?
I mean, we harped on MLB pretty hard, so
we did.
I can't really think about anything else.
I can't really go over the other sports games the way I can go over MLB. I mean, Madden I can talk a little bit about, but not really. All right. Yeah. Well, if that's all we got, a fun show today, boys. We'll have to come up with something you boys know, like something about maybe another Call of Duty one or something. Y'all just let me know. We want to thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Press Play Podcast. We come out every Monday and Friday is our schedule at 12 a.m. Central Standard Time. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe, comment if you will. And if you're listening on the podcast networks, we just want to thank you. So, yeah, peace, guys.